As the 2019 gubernatorial election approaches, Citizen Information Network brings you the campaign promises of some of the governorship candidates in Kano State. Abba Yusuf, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Kano State's 2019 gubernatorial election. Below are some of his campaign promises. To restore Kano State as the industrial hub of the nation, an all-inclusive government that will be based on open door policy, to provide free basic health care services, transportation equipment, and strengthen anti-begging policy. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje was born in 1949. He is the incumbent governor of Kano State and candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the 2019 gubernatorial election. His campaign promises are more economic empowerment of women across the state, improve agriculture by reinvigorating fertilizer plants, improve peace and awareness across the state. Malam Sergio Take, candidate of the People's Redemption Party. Malam Sergio Take is the candidate of the People's Redemption Party in the 2019 Kano State gubernatorial polls. His campaign promises include to form a unity government that will ensure rapid development of Kano State and its people, to come up with programs and policies that would improve the lot of the common man, to collaborate with other stakeholders to tackle insecurity challenges. Citizen Information Network will bring you live updates on the governorship election scheduled to hold this Saturday, 9th of March 2019. Follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter at CIA Niger. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at CIA Niger or log on to our website www.cianigeria.com/live.
Welcome, distinguished viewers. This is another wonderful session of Focus Nigeria as we now focus on supplementary elections in 17 states and the Federal Capital Territory. As we all know, according to court injunction, the Independent National Electoral Commission has been restrained from conducting the gubernatorial supplementary election in Adamawa State, and also has been restrained from collating the gubernatorial election in Tafawa Balewa local government area of Bauchi State, which means we will only be having 5 states with gubernatorial supplementary election, which are Bauchi, excluding Tafawa Balewa local government, Plateau State, Sokoto State, Benue State, and Kano State. Nonetheless, we'll be having House of Assembly elections in 17 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. Just some few hours ago, precisely yesterday, the Election Payment Tribunal of Osun State, sitting in Abuja, have just declared the PDP candidate Senator Luridin Adeleke as the duly elected governor of Osun State. Precedence to this supplementary election, one of the judgments of yesterday's tribunal verdict was the supplementary election is not recognized by law. That is Justice Obi, a member of the tribunal panel of the Osun State Election Petition Tribunal. And I'm not alone on this. I have Akporero Henry, who are going to discuss this thing together.
Yes, thank you very much, Doktorsquared. Good day, Nigerians. The supplementary election is live, and we'll give you the full details as it happens. Not forget, yesterday, they also declared Senator Luridin Adeleke, who happens to be the PDP candidate in the Osun 2018 governorship election, as the winner, which means Boyega Ayitola, he has to go.
Now the point is this. A precedent was laid yesterday. Supplementary election is not recognized by law. What's your take?
Well, when I heard the news yesterday, when the news broke and then we saw it, we were a little bit. I was a little bit unstable about it because supplementary election is coming up today, and just yesterday they had to cancel a supplementary election that was carried out in 2018 in Osun State. So we are really not so abreast as to what we should believe or what we should take. Today's supplementary election in 5 states for governorship election, and in the same governorship election yesterday, they cancelled the one that they did in 2018. Just
to be clear on some of these facts, we are talking to legal luminaries who understand the basis of tribunals. They understand the processes and they understand the nitty-gritty of law and the legal practices as regards election petition tribunals. Why a candidate will go as far as Supreme Court to defend his mandate. We are going to be linking up very soon with legal luminaries, and as soon as we're able to get across to them, they are going to explain these things to us. But now let's come back. Let's go back to Osun State, September 22nd, 2019 Osun State election. The PDP from the first ballot won the election by less a margin about, I think about 15 votes, I guess. It was a less margin compared to the number of cancelled votes.
Yes.
Now they declared it inconclusive and a supplementary election taking place. At the end of the day, the APC governor Electoral won the election.
Yes, yes.
Now, there's the result on the screen now. The PDP has 254,698 votes, while the APC had 254,345 votes on the first ballot.
Yes, yes. Well, when we saw these results, the INEC, the presiding officer, he said, well, they had to do some consultation and check some of their INEC rules as to if that election will be declared, as in if they should declare Adeleke the winner or should it be inconclusive. And then at the end of the day, we got an inconclusive result. Now the question is, that margin, is it enough for them to declare someone the winner?
Now another thing is this: when we talk about the Electoral Act and the electoral, the law and the Constitution and the electoral guidelines. Now, before we even go to the electoral guidelines and the Electoral Act, now there are some controversial votes where we have reduction, especially in Nigeria, where we have a reduction of 1,000 votes. When you check about what we have from the polling units,
yes,
from EC8, and what was declared at the end of the day, you discover that there was a discrepancy. And even the returning officer at that point overlooked that and still declared the election inconclusive. And now, inconclusiveness of election is only a part of the electoral guideline. It is not a function of the Electoral Act.
Wow. So, well, that leaves a lot of questions to be left unanswered, because during the collection of results in Osun State, we were there. Yeah. You were in Osun, and then while the collation was going on, I think one of the PDP agents, he stood up and then he made this plea that about 1,000 votes were being cancelled. He said something about that. He said it was removed from their vote. And then that raises the question. Now INEC going forward to declare the election inconclusive, and now with PDP going to the tribunal and then doing all the court legal issues, and now they have declared them winners. I think INEC, they are consistently inconsistent in this. There needs to be a roadmap. There should be the law that states this is when an election should be declared inconclusive, or when it should be declared otherwise.
Okay, according to the electoral guidelines, an election will be declared inconclusive if the margin, the winning margin between the leading candidate, yes, and the second runner-up is less than the number of cancelled votes.
Okay, yeah.
It will be declared inconclusive. Electoral guidelines. We have electoral guidelines, we have electoral act, and we have the constitution.
Wow. Well, I think that leaves us to check if actually the number of council votes is the same, as in if it's okay for them to cancel it, because judging from what we saw in Osun, we saw that, well, with the votes that was being alleged to be removed at Ayedade.
Apart from even the votes, 7 polling units were cancelled in 3 local government areas of Osun State.
Yes.
We have Ife South local government, Ife North local government, Oro local government, and Osogbo local government. That is 4 local government. These 4 local governments, their votes were cancelled because of violence,
yes,
and the inaccessibility of ballot papers to those points at the period. Now, yeah. So they now say the vote council were 3,498, which is higher than the margin between the leading PDP candidates, that's Senator Adeleke, and the APC candidate Boyega at that point. That was why the election was declared inconclusive. But that is only recognized in the electoral guidelines.
Wow. So what does the Electoral Act, or what does it stipulate? Because when you look at the margins, with the 3,000 plus votes that were cancelled in these different local government areas and polling units, I think there should be a summation of how these things should work. Because during the rerun, we saw that APC, they defeated PDP. It was a landslide victory in the rerun with those votes that were counted. So what should we, I'll ask you that, what should we look at, what should we follow? What should be the guideline that we should follow? And INEC as well.
But you know that even when we even reference back to the Kogi election,
yes,
we have a supplementary election in Kogi State for House of Senate. And in fact, let's even go back to the gubernatorial election of Kogi State in 2015.
Yeah.
That was in December 2015. Before the death of Prince Audu, the leading candidate, the vote is far higher than the council vote. And INEC still declared the election inconclusive.
Well, we really don't know. That's why I'm still saying INEC should be clear as to these things. What should be the precedence for them to announce an election inconclusive? How many council votes? What should be the percentage that they can use in terms of judging these facts? Because from what INEC they're actually telling us Nigerians, they are making it open that this electoral process in Nigeria is not so clear. It's not so open, because even the United States, they even laughed at us a few days ago. They said the Nigeria election was a disappointing. That the process, the way that vote buying and stuff like that, they said it wasn't really clear. Although INEC actually replied them. But then I think INEC, they should know when to tell us, okay, this is what the law says, this is what our electoral act says. Because this whole thing is leaving Nigerians in a very tight corner, and they are putting us on the fence. Yeah, we don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, we don't know what to believe anymore. And let's not forget, just not to give a very bad impression about the present INEC. This is not the first time we are having supplementary election in Nigeria. In fact, since 2011, we've been having supplementary election, especially when it comes to legislative positions. And let's not forget, Governor Rochas of Korocha of Imo State got his mandate through supplementary election in 2015, and that was the INEC led by Professor Akporero Chega. So some people have been saying that supplementary election is synonymous to the Professor Mahmoud Jacob led INEC. That's a very wrong impression. This is not the first time. And as we are going on the program, we are going to take you through the legal point of discourse to the judgments given yesterday on the election particular tribunal, and we are going to make you go through it. So now, the supplementary elections that are going on around the 5 states, which I said earlier, Benue, Plateau, Sokoto, Kano, and Bauchi State. And Bauchi State exclude the Tafa Balewa local government. The standing result at the moment is what you have on the screen, Henry. Now, in Adamawa State, as you can see, yes, APC has 288,443 votes, while PDP is leading with 308,356 votes. So the margin is 19,913. Because we're talking about percentage the other time. Yes. Now, Benue State has 297,000. Benue APC has 297,268 votes, and PDP has 380,250 votes. The margin is 82,682. Now, in Bauchi State, excluding as at the moment, you know, the Tafa Balewa local government has not been collected. Yes. We have 465,453 votes for APC, and PDP has 469,512 votes, which is 4,059 margin. Then in Kano, we have now 87,819 votes for APC and 1,014,474 votes for PDP. That's 26,655 votes. Yes. Now, do you know that the only, if you look at those statistics, we would call that the only place in which the APC is leading at the moment is Plateau State. Yeah. So the other states, PDP are leading. Now, let's even go back to, if you look at Benue, the margin is 82,000. We have a margin of 4,000. Does that fit into what you talk about, the percentage? What kind of percentage should we look at for us to decide that this election is inconclusive or not, or can be declared, the winner can be declared? Well, yes, that's why actually I'm questioning INEC's capability in terms of judging these facts. Because when you look at these margins, compare these margins to that of Osun, these margins are far higher than that of Osun State. Yes, and Osun, they had to do a rerun, and then before they cancelled the rerun. So if you look at these margins now, you look at what happened in Osun and the announcement that was made yesterday, you just feel why have a rerun again? Just cancel the rerun and let whoever is lead, because these persons, they are leading with 80-something thousand, some are leading with 4,000 plus, which is far higher than what we had in Osun. So I don't know. For me, the rerun is something that is actually I won't target a waste of time, but is already taking too much time of Nigerians and also INEC as well, because if you have to examine the stress of going through election, collation of results and all that, Nigerians, we've seen this before, and we don't want to pass through this stress anymore. Why not these areas that are already leading with thousands of margins? I see no reason why they should do it. And because with the election that happened in Osun, the margin, compare Osun with Adamawa, compare Osun with Benue, compare Osun with even Sokoto. And even let's forget, like you have on the screen now, the supplementary election in Adamawa State, 14 local governments, and the number of affected RAs is 29, number of PUs is 44, number of registered voters in that place 40,988. PDP is leading with 19,913 votes. Yeah, that means if PDP is okay, I think we have Bauchi on the screen now. Now the Bauchi, now we have excluding Tafa Balewa local government area now. Yes. Now we have local government area 15, number of RS is 28, and number of polling is 36. The number of votes, the margin total vote in those places is 22,759. And the differences between the leading candidate PDP and APC is 19 is about 19,000. Yeah, I think it's 4,000, yeah, 59. Well, if you judge with this and with Bauchi and Adamawa, I think for Adamawa, the margin is almost half. It's almost half the number of registered voters. And because then let's forget now. Let's forget people. There's something we need to understand now. Look at Adamawa. Yes, like I was saying, Adamawa is about 50%. Yes, almost 50%. And the turnout of voters in Adamawa is less than 50%. Oh yeah. Then it means we are not likely to have voters from these polls that will be up to this margin. Because when you talk about the statistics of turnout of voters, yes, The general average is about 42%.
It's true, because this Nigerian election, I think the voters turnout wasn't that impressive in so many states, because even US they even laughed at us that the voter turnout is not impressive. What happened? These guys, they collected PVCs and then they didn't come out to vote.
And now let's not forget, distinguished viewers, because of pockets of violence in places around the country and because of inavailability of voting materials, the cancelled votes in the presidential election, the total voters that were disenfranchised from voting, especially in Lagos, in Rivers State, in Akwa Ibom, in some part of Benue, some part of Adamawa, the total vote is far higher than the margin between the winner, the President Muhammadu Buhari, and the runners-up Atiku Abubakar. But INEC went ahead to declare that election completed and declared a winner.
Well, for Lagos, we were a little bit surprised with the turnout in Lagos and the number of people that actually participated in the election. Talking about
the election, the number of people that were not able to vote because of violence and because of delay in voting materials is far higher than
the margin of victory.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who was declared the winner, and the runners-up who is Atiku Abubakar.
I think that brings to question
the election success completed and declared the winner.
I think that actually brings to question the consistency of INEC. How consistent are they in their judgment? How can we trust them that, okay, these are the guys that are handling electoral processes in Nigeria? Now, if the margin, I would like to see what the Electoral Act says about this issue. If the margin of people that weren't allowed to exercise their franchise that day, if the margin is far higher than the margin of the winner and the loser, I think they have to look into it. I think that's why even PDP, they haven't gone to the tribunal now.
The Electoral Act is silent on this issue.
Okay.
But it is very well clear in the electoral guidelines.
Okay. So I think they should look into it. They should look into it, and they should let us know that if actually the people that didn't vote, there are more, or the people that were not allowed to exercise their franchise, they are more than the winning margin. I think they should look into it and then clear us up.
Now, very sincerely, when we talk about the people who should vote, we are talking about the total registered voters in every polling unit. The total registered voters is different from accredited voters, and since 2018, accreditation and voting goes simultaneously. But when you talk about total registered voters, are the people who are qualified to vote in a particular place, and it's not limited to the people who collected their PVCs. It means the people who registered at a particular polling unit. Now, if the number of people who are registered in a particular polling unit across an electoral section is more than the margin between the leading candidate and the runners-up, electoral guideline provides a supplementary election, and the election will be declared inconclusive. And please don't let us misconstrue it to meaning accredited votes or the number of total votes. That people are registered in a place, like say 100, does not mean that 100 people will come out to be accredited and vote. And now, another case now, which was very complicated, because this supplementary election has been, since yesterday's judgment, a lot of angles. People have been looking at the judgment and the process from different angles. Now, people have been looking at this from different angles. Now, the point is this now. The presidential election of February 23. Understand? Accreditation and voting goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
The number of the accredited votes is always higher in most cases. In most cases, like let's check presidential result from Anambra State. Accredited voter is 675,573, and total vote count is 625,035. Difference is 50,238. What happens to this?
Well, that needs a lot to be answered because from my knowledge, it's immediately after accreditation you vote.
It's as soon as you are accredited, you are given ballot paper.
You're supposed to go and vote.
No, you are given ballot paper immediately. As soon as you are accredited, you are collecting your ballot papers.
Yes. So you collect your ballot paper, the next thing you wait and then you vote.
Then it means now we should be asking, like now check Kano again. Accredited voter is 2,006,410. And total vote count is 1,064,751, leaving a difference of 41,759 votes. Then it means we should be looking for 41,659 ballot papers.
Well, that leads to the question: what happened? What happened to these people? As in, when they did the accreditation, yeah, but they didn't vote. Why? Is it that the area wasn't serene enough? Is it that the INEC people they weren't there to conduct the election?
No, let's not understand. Let's not understand if the area wasn't serene enough or by virtue of any excuses.
Yes.
What happened to the ballot papers received by these potential voters?
Well, I think that's actually a question that comes to mind, but what can we say? This is actually the figures that.
But is this not enough to declare an election inconclusive?
Well, it should because if you even look at the turnout of voters, like we earlier mentioned, if you look at the difference in Kano and that of Anambra State that we just saw, though Anambra had 50,000 plus difference, Kano had 41,000, but the total number of registered voters and accreditation in Kano is much more higher than that of Anambra. Now, it brings to mind, what actually happened? Is it that there's something that they're not telling us? If actually these numbers are so high, then I think they should look into it, because this is enough for any election to be declared as inconclusive.
All right. Well, from there, we've seen the discrepancies in figures everywhere. But now let's look at the supplementary elections in the states.
Yes.
Now, Adamawa State, local government area, we have 40,988. Then we margin between the leading candidate of PDP and the runners-up of APC to be 19,913.
Well,
the percentage turnout of voters averagely across the country is less than 50%.
So that actually leads us to now the percentage here, the margin, the winning margin already that the PDP are using in are usurping the APC is almost 50%. Now, if they already have almost 50% of as a margin in terms of what they are using to lead, and the turnout for this election, as in statistically, is not even more than 50%. I think this result already speaks for itself. I don't see.
It's actually far less than 50%.
Far less than 50%. So I don't think there was any need for them to do a run in Adamawa, because with these figures, it shows that no matter how the outcome is, no matter what happens today, the PDP, they are almost guaranteed. Okay, let's bring this process to a marathon race in which so many people are running, and someone is leading with about 100 meters from the second runner-up, and because the person is leading with about 100 meters and the distance between his points and the finishing line is just less than 10 meters, we just declare him winner. Well, for me, I think you have to put that in a marathon perspective. Let's say, for example, put an Usain Bolt versus a pregnant woman. What's the possibility of Usain Bolt beating that pregnant woman that is just a few meters away from the finish line and him still behind? What's actually the possibility? because I think at this stage, at this margin for the Adamawa result,
but
we should almost, there are still chances, but the chances are very slim. The chances are very slim.
But
as in,
but the slimmest of chances
it's very slim. It's like you saying someone that is already losing in a football match, they're already beating you like 6-0 in the first half, and then second half you say the coach will have a team talk, and then they will come out and they will win by 10-6.
I bet to disagree, because the Paris Saint-Germain team won in Old Trafford in the last concluded round of 16 Champions League match. That was 2-0. That was 2-0. That was 2-0, not 6. They went back to they went back to PSG to win, to beat them as that.
Well, nothing is impossible.
Real beat Ajax in Amsterdam,
and
they came back
and Ajax came and beat them.
So,
like I was saying,
the slimmest of chances can still be proven.
Nothing is impossible.
Should not give a moral justification for supplementary election, and now talk to or scold INEC for making a different decisions in cases like this, in which they declared winner outrightly.
I think the timing of the Osun announcement actually will play a huge factor. We play a huge factor in terms of what happens today, because that timing yesterday that announcement was made, it now brings a lot to mind, like what will happen. Nigerians are eager to know what will happen today. Okay, this result has been announced yesterday. Now what are we going to see today? Now I'm not saying those that are leading are already guaranteed, because anything can happen. This is politics, and most importantly, this is Nigeria. All right,
this is Nigeria. Yes, we understand it's politics.
Yeah.
Now, Adamawa State. Now, let's look about the registered voters in Adamawa State. Now, look at Adamawa State. Number of registered voters is 1,973,083.
Yeah.
Now, let's not forget, Adamawa State is the state of the PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was the vice president of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007. For the record, the number of collected permanent voters cards as at 11th of February 2019 is 1,788,706, and number of all collected PVCs are 184,377. Now, if you look at this now, there was a massive turnout for the collection of PVCs in these areas. Distinguished viewers, these are things we need to analyze holistically. We need to reason them down ourselves so that we can understand how the electoral processes in Nigeria, and how we and you can put our hands together to raise the bar of our electoral process and make it worthwhile, free, fair, and credible. Now, people in Adamawa State, they have about just 194,000 out of 1.9 million. They had a 1.74 million turnout to collect their PVCs. Now, compared to the council votes, which leads to the supplementary election, which is, I won't say a mega, because even a vote is so important in election. 40,000 votes. Is that not enough to declare an election inconclusive?
Wow. Well, for me, I think it is enough, because it's not just one vote that was cancelled. It's not 1,000. It's not 2,000. It's not 10,000. This is 40,000 votes. That's actually that was actually cancelled. I think it is enough to declare any election inconclusive, and judging by the margin of the victory from the first person and the second person, I think the number of the cancelled vote is more, almost ×2 of the winning margin. So I think it's fair. It's fair for them to call it. So the ball is still open to anyone. The game is, the field is set. Let's see what happens in Adamawa today. Yes, let's see what happens in Adamawa today, because there's a lot still to be answered in Adamawa. So all these things are what we need to look at holistically. How does this affect the Nigerian politics? How does this, so much turnout in Adamawa, which shows that the people, they are actually interested in the electoral process. They want to vote.
The people are so much interested
Yes.
in the electoral process in Adamawa State. And let's not forget, their candidate, Adlaji Atiku Abubakar, is a contestant.
Yes.
Now let's look about the turnout of voters in Adamawa State during the presidential elections. And like you see on the screen is the number of registered voters collected and the number of collected PVCs and number of uncollected PVCs of Adamawa State. Now, if we look at now the presidential result from Adamawa State now, the registered voters, as we see earlier, is 1,959,322. Total vote cast, 860,756. That is
that is
60%.
Yeah, that is far less than
about 45%.
I think with the numbers here in Adamawa, I don't know, but it's actually depressing to think that the number of people that registered were almost 2 million. Yes. But the number of people that cast votes, that casted their votes, is just under 1 million.
This for the presidential election.
I know it's for presidential election. Now it's under 1 million. Now this shows that a lot of persons, they were interested in the registration process, but when it came to the election, they didn't participate. Why? They have a presidential candidate from that. And I mean, not just a presidential candidate, one of the prominent names from that state.
Maybe some of them were disappointed at the presidential candidate from the state lost its polling unit.
So if Atiku is from Adamawa, and Adamawa, I think I would like to see the statistic in Kaduna, Katsina. I mean, to judge.
Let's not forget from the statistic we just showed you on the screen. There is a distinct difference between invalid votes and cancelled votes. Invalid votes are votes that were casted, the vote that cast and were counted and were not good. Maybe the thumbprint crossed through